Right, 24. In the circle above, segment AB is a diameter. If the length of arc ADB is a pi, what's the length of the radius of the circle? Okay, so they give us the arc length ADB is a pi. Okay, so from A to D to B, this here. Okay, and we're trying to figure out the radius of the circle. So for this question, what we can do is there is a formula for arc length. Okay, so arc length formula. Let me write this out. So arc is a part of the circumference, right? So it is a fractional circumference. Okay, so what we can do is if we try to solve for arc, and we can take the central angle. Okay, so the angle for the arc, which is same as the measure of central angle. So I just say that's x. You have to divide it by 360 because in a full circle we have 360 degrees, and that times 2 pi radius. Okay, 2 pi radius. This is actually the circumference of the circle formula. Right. So if you think about the meaning of this formula, so x over 360. So whatever degree the arc is, right? If you divide by 360, because the whole circle had 360 degree. So we divide by 360, then that will give us a fraction of the arc compared to the whole circle. Okay, once we have the fraction, you use that to multiply by the circumference of the circle, then that should give us the arc length. Okay. So for this question, we don't have they didn't tell us an angle measure, but we could figure it out, right? You see the arc is actually like a semicircle. Okay, it's half of a circle because AB is a diameter, right? So then this angle here, so this is centered, and this angle should be 180 degrees. Okay, which means the arc here should also be the same, half a circle, right? 180 degree. So if we're plugging into this formula, then this case x should be 180. Okay, 180 over 360, which is 1/2, right? That's 1/2 of the whole circle. So if you plug in the formula here, we know the arc is a pi, right? So we can use this equation to solve for the radius. Okay, so what we can do here is say a pi equal to 180 over 360, that's 1/2 times 2 pi r. And then 1/2 times 2 here will cancel, right? That's equal to 1. So we get pi r equal to 8 pi. And then to solve for radius, you can just divide by pi on both sides. And then the pi cancel, we got r equal to 8. Okay, so radius equal to 8, and that should be our final answer here. Okay, so for this question, we don't necessarily have to use the arc length formula. You could also recognize that this is a half circle, right? Then the whole circumference should be 2 times 8 pi, right? So that should be 16 pi. And then you can just use the circumference formula to solve from radius from there, right? That will also work. Okay, so for this question, we don't necessarily have to do the arc length formula. But if the angle is not 180, right, if it's something else, that might be a little bit more difficult to figure out circumference, then we can use the arc length formula. So this formula is very helpful. So if you want to memorize that, right, it will definitely be a good thing. Okay, so just think about arc length is a fractional circumference. So we take the angle and divide it by 360. That will give us a fraction. Then we multiply by 2 pi r. Okay, so that will be the arc length. Okay, so for 24 here, the answer is C.